Welcome to the Make It Personal podcast presented by Mutual of Omaha Advisors. Make it personal. It's your money. It's your plan. It's your future.
Decisions, decisions, decisions. Whether you're choosing a restaurant for dinner or a life partner, making decisions can be overwhelming. In modern times, we're often presented with so many choices that we can almost be paralyzed as we're faced with a phenomenon called choice overload. We sometimes have so many choices that we often settle for the default choice or end up making no decision at all. Researchers at Cornell University estimate that we make over 225 decisions each day on food alone. Maybe that explains why I always order the same sandwich when I eat here in our cafe at the office. Various sources suggest that the average adult makes over 35,000 decisions each day, including what we will eat, what we will wear, what we will say, and how we will say it. I can't even begin to imagine how this was quantified. Did some poor student or research assistant have to follow a bunch of people around with a clipboard and record their decisions for days? The sheer volume of making 35,000 decisions per day is mind-blowing. Not to mention, these internet sources indicate that the average adult makes 35,000 decisions a day. We can debate on when adulthood begins, but for our purposes, let's throw out age 21. I turned 50 last year, so that means arguably I'm closing in on 30 years of adulthood if it started at age 21. 35,000 decisions a day, 365 days in a year, 30 years, that's over 383 million decisions. If that's true, it's amazing that we have time for anything else. Some of the decisions we're making, of course, are heavier than others. How we'll do our jobs, spend our time, treat our loved ones, or invest our money. And that is where we'd like to go today. What are the 10 most important decisions that you have to make in your financial life? The most important financial decisions you face don't involve which stocks you pick or how your 401k performs. Your biggest financial decisions involve things such as how much education you may want, whether you marry and stay married, and whether you buy a home. There are plenty of other factors that influence your success, of course, and many are beyond your control. Today, we will narrow in on 10, if you consider that narrow, of the most important financial decisions you have in life. While the thought of 10 important financial decisions may sound overwhelming, the good news is that these are 10 decisions spread over your lifetime, and there are resources available to help you in making these decisions. Since there are 10, we're actually going to break this up into 2 episodes. This week, we will work our way through the first 5 of the decisions, and then we'll come back next week with the next 5. Before we get into them, you may want to head over to www.makeitpersonalpodcast.com and download our ebook, Make It Personal, 7 Principles to Your Financial Success, or to book a no-obligation conversation with one of our advisors. Speaking of our advisors, I represent their collective voice. Nearly 1,000 of them across the country, and you may be here watching or listening due to one of them referring you to this podcast. Our company was founded on the belief that people from all walks of life can use help protecting their families and building their dreams. Much has changed since Mutual of Omaha opened the doors in 1909, but one thing is constant. Then and now, our customers depend on us. Okay, right out of the gate, I'm going to throw in a bonus decision. I put the word decision in quotes here because you have zero control over this one. We'll call this one Decision Zero, and it's picking the right parents. Okay, let the belly moans commence. While there are situations such as adoptions, guardianships, and others that I will fail to mention here, where there is a choice as to who my parent may be or who will raise a child, the majority of us don't choose our parents. Though very interestingly, there are a lot of hits out there on your nearest web browser if you search, "Do I choose my parents?" Generally speaking, choosing parents was not your choice, but after that, everything else is. Here's a quote in an essay on the shortness of life by Stoic philosopher Seneca of ancient Rome. "We are in the habit of saying that it was not in our power to choose the parents who were allotted to us, that they were given to us by chance, but we can choose whose children we would like to be. We didn't get to choose our parents. Our genetics or science took care of that. we do get to choose with our actions and our belief who we will decide to be. So while our kids may be the children of Mark and Stacy from Omaha, where do they seek wisdom beyond us? Who do they choose to associate with and learn from? From whom do they seek mentorship, living and deceased, such as Stoic philosopher Seneca? Where do they choose to seek financial guidance and support? Do you simply let the world happen to you, or do you choose to happen to the world? A little deeper than I originally thought we would start, though certainly foundational. Let's move on to the top 10 decisions of your financial life. We'll review these from 1 to 10, and they're loosely in order, though certainly not a series of steps to follow. Financial decision number 1 is your formal education and how far you choose to take it. We've covered personal growth and development beyond your formal education in earlier episodes, especially those around our ebook, 7 Principles to Your Financial Success. Head back to episode 6 if you want our take on that. Here we are talking about whether and where you go to college or trade school. We're also talking about the major or vocation you choose. We're also talking about whether or not you decide to seek any postgraduate degrees. Why is this such an important financial decision? First of all, statistics from various sources generally point to the fact that those with at least a 4-year college degree earn greater income than those that stop their formal education with high school. Further, the major or vocation we choose can directly impact our earnings potential and income stability. Choosing to seek postgraduate education can have an even further impact. Second, choosing to pursue a college or post-secondary education can certainly be a huge investment. According to the National Center for Education Statistics, the average total cost of attendance for first-time, full-time undergraduate students living on a campus at a 4-year degree granting institution in the school years of 22-23 was just over $27,000 at public institutions and almost $59,000 at private nonprofit institutions and over $33,000 at private for-profit institutions. Multiply that by 4 years, assuming that that's all it takes, and it quickly adds up. This investment can pay off handsomely, and it can also lead to burdening recent college graduates with a bunch of student loan debt. This, of course, can lead to getting off on the wrong foot financially after college. On to financial decision number 2 is your place of residence or where you choose to live. I am born and raised in Omaha, Nebraska. Our families are largely here. It's a great place to raise a family. I think it was Mark Twain that said, if you don't like the weather in Michigan, give it 5 minutes. Same is absolutely true for Omaha. We're blessed with a great school district in the suburb that we live in. We're the home of the 20-minute commute to anywhere, though that doesn't always hold as true as it once did. But you don't live here for our mountains or our beaches. Where you live initially is certainly influenced by your parents and your family. Where you choose to live longer term will have an impact on your ability to meet your financial goals due to the cost of living. This choice can also have an impact on available jobs, though this one is arguably a bit different now with the growth in hybrid and virtual work. Your overall quality of life can certainly be influenced by where you choose to call home. Next up, financial decision number 3, your career or how you choose to earn a living. This one certainly can be impacted by financial decision number 1, your formal education. Deciding what you want to do for a living is a big decision. Heck, we've got a high school junior trying to figure out what she wants to study as a major in college. This is a big decision that needs to be made first. What you do for a living is a big decision financially, but also because work is something that we invest a majority of our time into. The amount of time that people spend at work versus at home depends on a variety of factors, including job schedule and personal life. It's safe to say that your job can make a huge impact on your quality of life. I found an article on the Gettysburg College website by graduate Andrew Neighbor titled, "1/3 of your life is spent at work." The article opens with the statement, the average person will spend 90,000 hours at work over a lifetime. Your ideal career path depends on your unique interests, values, and skills, and should align with your short and long-term goals. Do you want to work for a company as an employee, or do you prefer to own your own business? There are some opportunities, such as our financial advisor roles, where you might get a little bit of both. Do you prefer to work remotely or in person? This is one of those questions we likely wouldn't be asking if this discussion was taking place 5 years ago, though it's certainly relevant today. Would you prefer working in the private or public sector? The big difference here is ownership. Private sector businesses are owned and operated by individuals or groups. Public sector's organizations are owned and managed by the government. If you're going to find a meaningful career, finding what you're interested in or even passionate about is a must. Choosing a lasting and fulfilling career is a big decision, but getting to that point involves a lot of smaller considerations. Moving on to financial decision number 4, which is budget management, or said more plainly, how you balance your income and expenses. This can involve tracking spending, setting goals, and creating a plan to stay on budget. It can also involve how you make major purchase decisions, balancing emotional wants and financial needs. There are arguably 5 main steps to creating a budget. First, you start with the amount of income you have or the amount of money you have coming in. Second, you identify your expenses. Third, you compare your income to your expenses and identify your goals and priorities. Fourth, you make a plan and begin tracking your expenses. And fifth, review your plan regularly and make adjustments where needed and ultimately stick with it. Sounds simple, right? The steps are fairly straightforward, though the part about identifying your goals and priorities and then sticking with the plan are arguably the toughest parts. A good financial advisor can certainly help with these. Any plan that you put together, or one that our advisors help you with, should certainly look to strike some balance between living for today and saving for tomorrow. Speaking of saving, up next is financial decision number 5, developing a plan for how much and where to save. Again, in our ebook titled 7 Principles for Your Financial Success, principle number 2 is saving versus investing. Know the difference. Head over to www.makeitpersonalpodcast to download a copy of the ebook, or head back to episode 7 of this podcast if you want to take a deeper dive on this topic. When it comes to personal finance, the concepts of safety, liquidity, and return are critical parts of a well-rounded financial strategy. Traditional advice on saving rates, which recommends that you save between 10 and 20% of your total income, though that advice can still lead you to falling short of achieving true financial security. One study shows that nearly 1/2 of Americans, or 44%, cannot cover a $1,000 emergency expense from their savings, and few achieve the financial independence often promised by financial gurus. Before you can begin building sufficient savings, it's crucial to understand the difference between saving and investing. Saving provides safety, security, control, and flexibility, offering you options for immediate financial stability when you need it. On the other hand, investing presents the opportunity to grow wealth, but also introduces a potential for volatility and loss. The key is getting the order right: save first, then invest, though they're not mutually exclusive. While saving and investing share the common goal of accumulating money, they operate on different principles, and each requires a distinct approach. Okay, that's where we'll break and continue our conversation in our next episode. The truth about these first 5 decisions, and the next 5 that we'll cover next week, is that they can all be solvable with the help of a financial advisor. It's never too late to start managing your finances better. In fact, certain decisions can have a significant impact on your financial future. While I realize that a week is a relatively short period of time to wait, I don't want you to walk away feeling like that you can't act now. Take control of your future and schedule a no-obligation consultation with one of our advisors today. Again, head over to www.makeitpersonalpodcast to learn more or get connected with one of our advisors or to download our ebook. Also, please like and subscribe while you're there. What are your thoughts on these first 5 financial decisions that we covered? What do you expect to show up in our next 5 financial decisions that we'll discuss next week? If you're watching or listening on a platform where you can comment, please do so, as I'm curious for your thoughts. At Mutual of Omaha Advisors, we understand personal finance is personal, and financial well-being is essential to achieving your life's goals. Our vision is for every customer to be able to imagine, plan, and secure their financial futures. Make it personal. It's your money, it's your plan, it's your future.
This podcast is for educational purposes only and may include references to concepts that have legal and/or tax implications. Mutual of Omaha Investor Services Inc. does not provide tax or legal advice. Please consult with the appropriate professional regarding your personal situation prior to making any financial decisions. Strategies discussed may not be suitable for everyone. Securities and advisory services offered through Mutual of Omaha Investor Services Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Mutual of Omaha Advisors is a division of Mutual of Omaha Insurance Company.